Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. Today I am going to be doing my foundation and concealer routine for you guys. Lately I found a foundation, and this actually is like the star of the show. This is the NYX Primer Spray First Base. It just says that it's a lightweight mist that creates a smooth canvas for impeccable makeup application. Now I actually don't use this as a primer spray, but I do use it in the middle of my foundation. So I just wanted to show you guys some products that I feel like have really been working for me lately, as well as some techniques. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I first start off with primer, and I'm still using this Catrice one. I'm still just kind of testing it out. I don't really know how I feel about it. I do feel like it keeps me pretty matte throughout the day, but I'm breaking out like crazy right now, which is super annoying, but okay. So now that I'm all primed, this foundation is a little bit more pricey. It's not drugstore, but I love this foundation, and I think if you are going to spend your money on a foundation, get this one. This one isn't even like super expensive. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer 2-in-1. I bought this at a CCO back in like July when I was on vacation in Hilton Head, and I just started using it because not just started, but really like this month I've been using it because the color just is now matching me. It was a little too pale for me when I first bought it, and I am obsessed. This foundation is amazing. I think it's around like $25. So again, it's not drugstore, but like I always say, Clinique is available at many Ulta stores and online. So if you have Ulta reward points and you have extra cash that you can cash in, I would recommend buying this because I just think it's amazing. And it comes with this big old doe foot. And what I like to do is I just like to kind of lightly draw on my face. Now I will say that this does dry really quickly, so I normally do like one side of my face at a time because it will dry pretty quickly. So then what I do is I take this brush. This is the Morphe M439 brush. I love this brush for foundation. And then I take the NYX primer spray, and all I do is I spray my brush just like once, nothing too crazy. And then I just lightly buff this into the skin. What that primer spray does, or at least what I feel like it does, is really kind of just like mix in with the foundation and make it last forever. It is so good. Like this combo, the Clinique foundation and the primer spray are like besties. It is so awesome. It works, they work so well together. So again, I just kind of lightly draw on my face, and I only use like one dip in per side. I don't like constantly go back into the jar because this foundation is very like sheared out easily. I don't know how to describe it, but like it's a pretty like thick foundation, so I don't want to use a bunch of it. But I also, want to make sure I get good coverage. So I basically just make sure it's like really sheared out on either side of my face, and that seems to give me like the right amount of coverage and not making it look cakey either. And then for like the nose and the forehead, I will kind of just do like one full line and then kind of go back and forth with that. And the extra product on the doe foot as well as the center, really just kind of blends out. So again, one spritz. So I basically do like 3 different, like cheek, and that kind of blends in over like the mouth area, and then the forehead and nose area. And I just use like 3 spritzes of the primer spray per section. Well, like 1 spray per section. And this foundation just blends so easily. Awesome. Okay, so then that is it for foundation. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with it. Nothing too crazy. So now I'm going to cover some blemishes that I have. This concealer, the NYX Got You Covered concealer, really, really good. You seriously need like the tiniest bit. Like I'm only going to squeeze up like really itty bitty. And then I take this brush. This is just a concealer brush from like a Sonia Kashuk set, but you can get any one you want. And I just really get a nice light layer, nothing too crazy. And then I just kind of press it on whatever I want to cover. Blemish wise. This is a really thick concealer, so I don't recommend using it under the eyes just because I feel like it would crease like crazy and it's just super thick. But really, this one is the only one I really need to cover because the foundation, you know, covered everything pretty well. So I just kind of continually dab it. And then, I mean, I use the smallest amount possible because that foundation is just so thick. And then I just take my foundation brush and I hold the brush at the end right here. And I just sort of lightly spin the brush or like buff it right over that area because I don't want to move any of the concealer. But, you know, I obviously want to make sure it blends in. So then I just kind of go around the blemish and stamp and make sure that it is nice and covered. Oh, well, I'm not. I just flipped my mirror over that's in front of me to be like really up close and personal so I can see where I need to blend a little bit more. So again, really, really small amount right there. Okay, and then for the eyes, because I'm looking a little dark today, I'm going to use my Pixie Brightening Peach. I went back to this. The e.l.f. one just, it just doesn't compare, you guys. Like, this is just so much better. If you aren't familiar, I will link the videos where I use, like, the new e.l.f. dark circle corrector. It just, it's okay, but this Pixie one is just life. Okay, so all I do is kind of stamp where I need to cover in the caverns over there. Okay. Okay, and then I don't really blend that to begin with. I do my like highlighting concealer. So I'm taking the Maybelline Better Skin. I love this stuff. It doesn't really matter what concealer you use. It's not like, I don't know. I go back and forth. I have just a, you know, different ones that I like. I just really am into this one lately. It's a very blendable concealer. I think this is a great under eye concealer from the drugstore because it has really good coverage, but it's not like drying either. It's very creamy, but not too creamy to where it creases like instantly, you know? Oh, I just got it in my eye. That's fun. Wipe it out. Okay, crisis averted. So now I'm just gonna do that. And I don't really highlight like the center of the face or anything when I'm like going to work normally, so I'm not gonna do that today. And then I just take this Real Techniques little sponge. I wet it because I like to use it to blend out my concealer. And then I just sort of blend this out. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Loose HD powder. Now this stuff can get real messy real quickly, but I love it. I love it because it's so finely milled. Yeah, my hair's a mess already. Okay, so and then I take this. This is the highlighting and contouring little sponge from Real Techniques. I do leave this dry. I don't wet it. And I actually don't really use this for highlighting and contouring. I love this to set the under eye. So this little side right here, all I do is I pick up some of that loose powder. And then I really just get up under the eyes and press it in. Now I don't bake or anything like that. I just press the powder right into the areas that I want to set. Okay, and then that is all I do for the under eye area. And then to set the entire face, I do use my Maybelline Better Skin Powder. Love this stuff. So I just opened this brush from Wet n Wild, and it's the powder brush, but since I just opened it, it's still looking a little flat, but I'm gonna use it anyway. So I just use my Better Skin Powder, and I really want to focus this powder on this area. So I like to kind of just really pack the brush and then swirl it right here, because this is where I get the most oily throughout the day. So I really like to make sure I'm hitting that area hardcore. Okay, and then I also like to make sure I hit the chin. And the nose and the center of the forehead. And then what I will do is I will just take a little bit more powder and just kind of lightly dust it over everything. I just really make sure I concentrate the powder on those areas so it does really set and stay and keep me from being oily, but then otherwise I just sort of like loosely set the face. Just kidding. Okay. And I like to make sure I really set that concealer that we use, the NYX one. Okay, and then I go back in with the primer spray, and I actually use this as a setting mist just because I feel like it makes me, whoo, my brows are looking a little cray. It really just locks everything in and it has such a fine mist. So I hold it like super far away from me, and I just sort of lightly spray myself. And then that is it for my foundation and concealer. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys on my next video. Bye!